This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve this morning, where we're sitting on a very foggy beginning of the morning here at Gari Dam. All we can hear on the background, all the hippos back into the water. So jump aboard on your own safari through the African bush. Good morning, everybody again. We're sitting here at the Gari Dam. All we can see, it is all foggy, which is already foggy. Well, it's pretty foggy this morning. And the temperatures, we're sitting on at 12 degrees Celsius and 53 Fahrenheit. My name is Andrew, and I have a Theo this morning. So we decided to come and begin the drive into this beautiful, very watering hole. Remember to talk to us using hashtag WildEarth on Twitter, as well as at FC on YouTube channel. If you're also under the age of 18, you can also still pop us an email on kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. You can see very well these hippos, pretty whitish. But it also is easy to go register on WildEarth website and head over to the live safari page, and you can submit your question. They will take them live. So Creative Freak is saying it's so much misty out here. Indeed it is. Very misty this morning. And then this is where we're going to be searching around for animals for everybody. And then there will be also on drive this morning, and Nikki will be also joining, as well as a Trishal and myself. So hope to find some animals for everybody. So I'm going to carry on, check in this foggy, and let's quick have a look at the weather on all different locations.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this very, very misty morning here on Djuma. We had some lovely impala that were moving amongst the mist, but now they've all moved on. We could hardly see them. I know you could hardly see the hippos at the dam either. Hi, everyone. It's me, Trishal. At least you can see me. I hope so. And I've got Morgan on camera with me, and it's a little bit chilly, but it promises to be a beautiful morning because the sun is popping through there and the clouds are dissipating, which is awesome. It means that at least we won't have any rain this morning. I'm looking over at these impala that are off to the side here. Most of them are grazing. the ones on the edge, but there's two that are right there that are staring out across quarantine, but I don't see anything just yet. But it's always a good idea to stop and watch them. The other one's put its head down now. It's just one alert impala. But there's always one alert impala. If all the others are relaxed, there's always going to be one with their head up, or at least one. If they've all got their head down, they must be very, very, very relaxed. It's the benefit of being in the herd. Someone's always watching. I don't see what it sees. Oh, it's now just looking at us. Good morning. I think it's just being vigilant. I'm listening out for any sounds this morning that the bush may offer us, some clues. Hi, Deb. Good morning. You'd like to know if this mist affects what the animals do. Obviously, it will cause them to, just like us, not be able to see properly. So they might be a little bit extra cautious in the morning, but this mist will usually clear up in the next 20 minutes to half an hour, as soon as it starts to warm up a little bit. But it is incredibly misty this morning. But they will be a little more cautious. They might be surprised a couple times by members of their own herd or little creatures like mongoose and scrub hares and things like that. Mongoose won't be out at this time though, so scrub hares, they could still move around because of the fact that predators are not able to see perfectly. I mean, we all can't. It's basically like a sheer curtain that's been pulled over our eyes. I can hear impalas still making those rutting sounds way behind us in that drainage between Western Quarantine and Rebecca's. But otherwise, things sound quite peaceful. So we're going to make our way to Chitwa today. We're going to go down south, might stop over at Treehouse Dam for a quick look around there, go past and through to Chitwa in the east. While we've been sitting here, actually, at least the mist in front of us has cleared up a little bit. But in the dips, it should be quite spectacular in the drainages. But like I said, it's going to clear up a lot more since the sun is starting to already be quite high in the sky. It's going to move up past that cloud soon. Hi, McKay. You'd like to know which predators, if any, benefit from the cloak of the silk. That's a nice way to put it. Nobody really benefits because it's not something that there's no set of eyes in the bush that can look past the mist. The better eyesight you have, the better you'll be able to see in the mist. So birds will be able to see better than other animals out here. But it's not a real benefit because, like I said, it's a cloak pulled over all of our eyes. So if you have better eyesight, you will do better in the mist. But that's about it. In fact, the animals that are going to benefit most from this mist, which is essentially moisture in the air, are going to be herbivores that this moisture will land on. Well, they're going to land on the vegetation, the moisture, and then the herbivores are going to eat it. So they're going to benefit in that sense. But from a predatory perspective, it's not really a benefit to anybody. It's just another part of the environment that they deal with regularly. see the sun starting to pop through there. I think what the mist also does is it creates a lot of excitement, I mean for us at least, and some good photos. But it creates this excitement because it feels like we can't see as far, so something might just, walk out of the mist in the distance, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Brighter and brighter. We'll just wait to see the sun pop through because it's about to. There we go. Lovely. So that means that soon this mist will all be gone, but we're going to continue down towards Treehouse Dam, see what we can find there.
So we are bumbling around, check a few roads around, just from Galago Pen. Specifically cats. We are checking for their tracks. Those are the one mainly, they may be active the whole night. So far, no tracks of them yet. And the tracks will be really clear and visible, because all they will be walking on top of the soft sand, which is just after the drizzling. So it will be easy to be seen. So yeah, since it's foggy, we're just gonna every now and then wipe off the lens, the camera, so we're gonna get to see it clearly. We'll be doing this regularly. Let's carry on, check, see what we find.
We are going to be driving through this mist. So see, this is what I like. Anything could be walking there, and I wouldn't know at all because I can't see past 20 meters, especially in a dip like this. Further up on the crest we can, but here the visibility is terrible. So exciting. You know, we always say that you don't know what's going to be around the next corner. Well, this morning we don't know what's going to be down the next dip. Nothing this time, but it's the excitement of what it could have been that keeps us going. So there we actually drove underneath it. The ground is so moist. Oh, my ears are so cold. The dams are going to be beautiful at this time. Lots of mist will be just as a band above it. Absolutely, more you say that you sure the elephants would be fun to find in the mist. Absolutely, that's what I was looking for in quarantine, hoping that we'd find some elephants that are walking in the mist. Oh, that would be amazing. While we've come up here, it's just been a little warmer. Nice. But then we're going to go down in the dip towards the dam now too. And the majority of that mist is now concentrated near Waterhole Dam and that drainage. So we're moving away from it. Oh, Kylie. Kylie says imagine a leopard in the mist. Yep. Thought about that too, Kylie. We even thought maybe a giraffe would just, its head popping over the mist, its body completely covered by the mist.
Sorry about that, all technical issues. And we're still on Bumble, so I'm going to check one of the open area right in front of us. Or possibly anything we can see on the open area. So we're driving very slowly so that we don't miss tracks and also we don't miss animal itself. Because it's very misty out here. Looking at the beautiful color of mist just on the far distances. But this is all going to burn down soon as the sun rises. So we're going to carry on. In the meantime, I'll be sending you across to Ngala with Nick to say hello to everybody.
warm welcome to all our viewers here at andBeyond Ngala, and as you can see, we are looking at the sun rising. There's quite a bit of mist in the area, and the sun hasn't really showed itself, so we are waiting for it, and as it warms up, hopefully we'll be able to see a bit better as well. We can't see that well because, as we mentioned, because of the mist, but I'm Nikki, I'm going to be your ranger for this morning, and on camera we have Owen. So the area we're going into now is we are actually in the middle of Ngala, and we are going to head down into this direction, and we're looking out for lions that we saw yesterday. It could be that they've moved from where we saw them yesterday, more in a southerly direction, could have been more towards an easterly direction. We're not too sure. So the best would be possibly if we can find some tracks, and then we can start working from there. But in the meantime, I think let's just enjoy the sunrise a little bit longer. Just listen to some of the birds in the background. It's such a beautiful morning. You can just hear the francolins and the spurfowls calling in the background. Nancy, it is such a beautiful view. The tree that's probably between us and the sun looks like a tree of wisteria. I can't see properly because of the light, but hopefully with the sun coming up, it might clear a bit of the mist so we can see better. But just looking at the leaves, how it's drooping down, like the overall shape of the tree looks like a tree wisteria. Maybe even a shambok pot, I'm not sure. And also by sitting here and listening to the sounds around us, if there's any sounds of the lions, maybe the male lions calling or some of the youngsters contact calling, trying to find the other members of the pride, we'll be able to hear them. So often a very, very good tool to use in the bush, just to stop and listen. I think what we'll do here is let's slowly carry on with our drive. I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't heard any alarm calls. I haven't heard any of the lions. So let's slowly carry on and see if there's any signs of them, or even those tracks we're looking out for in the road. I must say it is a beautiful day here at Ngala, and it would be such a treat to find the lions. So the white ones we saw yesterday as well, they actually were with the two Ross males and seen on a kudu carcass. Jason, with the lions, I mean, the mist does affect probably some of the animals in terms of how far they can see, but I mean, it wouldn't really affect the lions' hunting ability, because if they are downwind of the animals and the wind blows towards them, they'll be able to pick up that scent. So I'm sure it won't affect them that much. So we are pretty close to where we saw the lions yesterday. So I'm just going to slowly drive this area. Maybe they could be in the area or they might have moved, but it's always worth it just going to the last area and then starting your search from there. There's some tracks of the lions on the road, but it's hard to see which direction. And there are some that are going down this direction and some going up. So I just want to drive. There's an open area off to the left here and just stop and have a look at the tracks.
Today is no ordinary day. We have many people on the vehicle. We have Dawn, Rial here, and we have Miss Gabby. They are holders of the Ticket to Dream.
It's a very special opportunity for us and a learning experience for Gabby.
My favorite is the wild dog because it's like painted a little bit.
If you want to go on safari with a WildEarth guide, whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
My most favorite part about WildEarth is I have learned so many things and I have become interested in so many things that I never even knew about.
I'm going to ask my friends and my whole class, even my teacher, to go on safari.
We wanted to buy a ticket to Dream because we wanted our family to have this as a special time in our lives that we can always look back and reflect on. This is a dream to be here.
Hi everybody, I'm Tiana, I'm from Johannesburg, and I am one of WildEarth's biggest fans.
Been watching for 4 years, DG here from the Ozarks.
It's been 4 years for me and I'm not leaving anytime soon.
It's given me a time away from the hassles of the city, and it's given me a connection to a place that has stolen my heart, which is Africa.
Last year we lost our son, and now we're just watching WildEarth. Love to all you guys.
You are reminding us of the role that we play in nature conservation, each and every one of us. You have reconnected myself to a dream that I had as a child to get involved in nature conservation, and for that I'm really grateful for as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on WildEarth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Goodness, guys, we went through a dip just now. That was freezing. It felt like it was about 4 degrees. My ears I can't feel them. Well, look at Twin Dams. Wow. I can hear the pied kingfisher. I can't see it anymore. Whoa. Guys, I just need a moment to breathe. It's like I could hardly breathe in that drainage. It was so cold. My eyeballs were cold. Wow. It's an incredible morning. That's for sure. Very, very cold morning. Well, if anything is coming this way or drinking at the edge of Twin Dams on the far end, I won't be able to see. We'd just be able to make it out. Wow. Beautiful. High surface dam. So you absolutely love the stillness in the bush. Oh yes, and this mist adds an extra dimension to that stillness. I just want to, let's drive to the, just alongside the dam so we can actually see if there's anything on that side properly. We'll also be able to peek down into the Mowati. Further in here. We're gonna actually a little gap through there. Quite misty in there too, but obviously over the dams it's more so. Excuse my head. Nothing in there. So we're going to turn around and head towards Chitwa, which is our original plan. Okay, let me send you off to Nikki. It's also very misty there in Ngala. He's also on a bumble.
So the tracks of these lines are quite confusing this morning. There's a few of the tracks that are heading down in this direction, a few of the tracks heading up this way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to follow these ones heading up in this direction and see if there's any signs of them maybe coming out in one of these open areas. So I just want to take my microphone off. It actually caught onto my jacket there. But as you can see, the area is quite misty. We can't see that well, so we might have even driven past these lines without seeing them in the tall grass. So I'm hoping just to have another look. There's actually an open area on this side, so I just want to slowly drive past it, have another look. Just stop and scan. It looks like right here in the grass in front of us, something might have lied down during the evening. Could have been those lines. You can see how the grass here is flattened more than in the back. So definitely a sign that they could have been here. Can't see any more tracks though. But let's carry on. There's as I mentioned, this is one of the open areas, and there's another open area just on this side. Maybe there's a chance that they could have gone there. I can imagine if I was a lion, the first thing I would have looked for this morning is to find a nice open area and just lie down in the sun. So I just wanted to point out something here. Now it might be that Owen has to shoot over my shoulder just to show you what's happening here in the road. So down this way, you'll see right, I'm just going to try to see if we can focus, but you can actually see there's some lion tracks in the sand there. Just some scuffle marks. And it looks like these lion tracks are actually, some are heading down in this direction and some are actually coming back. I'm sure the lions probably during the evening would have lied down here somewhere. So So what I want to do is let's carry on, follow these tracks, and if nothing, we'll turn back and follow the other ones. But at least it's a good sign. We know the lions are possibly in this area, so now it's just a matter of time finding them. But for now, while we're trying to see where these lions have gone, let's head across to Andrew, who's apparently also on a bumble.
So we also do a lot of bumble around, and then we check all the roads, especially these cut line boundary, and then just to see who would be came in last night, during the night. And then I'm in a position where Irish was last seen a few days ago. Because I could see the sunshine coming through, so I think we should be fine soon. Just gonna take a look at these elephants' dung. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at these elephants' dung. Looks like probably last night. Looks like it. Still moisture. But you know, they sometimes move a lot, sometimes they delay, so you can't judge how far they are right now. Could be around or could be far away, or do we stick with their tracks? Am I hearing something in a bush? Theo, you're hearing it as well. So I'm going to drive forward. Possible that elephants may be around still. Sorry. You're asking if the dung beetle would make use of these dungs. Yes, if they were around. So now we actually already in this winter where they all hibernate, a lot of these dung beetles. We see during a wet pouring of rain, humid day. They're not really available right now. So, but yes, if they were around, they would definitely use of that dung. Just gonna take another listen around here again. Wipe our lens. might have to off-road into this wood where I believe I can hear all of those bushes going on. Probably these elephants. Sorry, dear. Could be that maybe they're very much deep inside to this bush. But we're trying to find out how far deep in.
So based on the tracks and also the direction of it, we've come to the conclusion that these lions, instead of heading in a northerly direction, are actually heading south. And so when south for us, you can see the sun is behind us, casts a shadow in front of us. So that's east and this is west, so south is just down in this direction. And where we're actually looking out for is on the right side, because the last time we saw the tracks, they were actually cutting in this direction. We haven't seen any tracks out there on the road, and if we do see some of the tracks starting to cross over the road, we can then start assuming, right, this is where we're going to start searching off to. But for now, it's probably going to be somewhere off to our right. It is a beautiful morning, the sun's coming out, the mist is clearing off. Makes me very excited. Just want to see, like you'll see occasionally, I'm just going to stop, slow down the vehicle, move a little bit to the side just to see if there's any side tracks of animals in the road. Prefer not to drive off the road to have a look at tracks, because then of course you're creating some damage to the environment. Unnecessary. So I just want to carefully drive here and see if there's any signs of them. Haven't seen it yet. But I can imagine with lion behavior in general, lions are quite lazy animals, so they need to sleep for quite a bit of the day. But when it's cool, they'll start to move. And with this time of the day, so just to let our viewers know as well, occasionally we might just wipe the lens because of how cold it is this morning. So if you do see a wipe across the screen, please don't get a fright. So I thought I saw some tracks, but it's just hyena. But knowing lion behavior is they'll move in the cooler parts. And if I was a lion, like instead of moving through the grass where there's a lot of dew, I might prefer something like a road or even a game trail to move on, just so that they're not as wet. Or if they find a spot to lie down in the tall grass, that's where they're going to be lying down. Actually some good signs of lions actually coming down onto the...
Can you guess what this is? Because the visibility is so terrible here. This is Tswalu Dam. I can't see a thing besides the one big dead tree. The towers, you know, the towers we use for radio signal and things like that, they kind of look like ghost towers. Can't see the bottom. It's very difficult to see the top as well. So everyone in Tswalu says they can't find anything. Absolutely nothing, no sightings. because it's going to be so difficult. You know, we rely, when we find an animal, on that initial flick. You know, we see a flick of the tail or movement of the trunk or the swish of the ears, and then our eyes, you know, focus on that, and we get the whole picture, and we can follow the animal, etc. Here we've lost that now. We can hardly see a thing. Let's get up into the damn wall. My eyes are watering. Wow. I can't see the lodge at all. This is the mistiest morning I have ever experienced out here in Djuma. Hi Vicky, you say this mist is incredible? Absolutely. Like I said, I haven't experienced it like this before, ever, on Djuma. It really is the mistiest morning. Djuma Orchard was that. I can hear hippos. I can just see the one near the dead tree. Barely. Let's move a little further on, along the wall slowly. You can still watch the dam as I move if you like. So slowly move along and see if you spot anything. I'll look down the other side of the dam wall. Oh, even if there was something down on the side of the dam, other side of the dam wall, I wouldn't be able to find it. Well, let me send you over to Andrew. He seems to be having better luck than I am finding animals in the mist.
Indeed, everybody, we actually managed to find these elephants we heard from the road. As you can see how they're actually walking through this mist. All we do, we're trying to get closer look at them. Just for now we're gonna just park here and then see. I'm probably gonna just move further into the bush because they're on their own businesses, but we still got a visual. they disappear. So I'm gonna drive further forward, putting more of them. I only saw a few of them, but I think it's probably a lot of them in the bush there. Off the road again. So there is one right in front of us, but it's one of a young male. And the rest of them, the one who are right inside there, you can hear all the noises. So there are a lot of them communicating a lot. These are the one that slightly far away from us, but we got them, so we'll try to stick with them. So I'm gonna stay put because it's actually interesting here. They're all probably gonna be around in this wood.
Founded in 1973, the Endangered Wildlife Trust has consistently and effectively worked towards achieving our conservation legacy. Contribute to this legacy by visiting EWT's Get Wild eShop and purchase products with a purpose.
I love being a cam-up for WildEarth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
Guys, have a look at what we've got. This is better than my birthday. Look at that. This is the first time that I ever see cubs this small. This is so special. This has officially just become my best sighting of all times.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
Delivering 6 hours of HD wildlife content live every day is no small feat. It's a massive team effort, and we all rely on one another. Cam ops have a bit of work to do in the morning. Up nice and early, get all the checks out of the way, and make sure we're ready to go live. Helping others fall in love with nature brings meaning to what I do. It's also a lot of fun.
So we managed to find one of the lionesses, and she's actually moving now, and occasionally she's calling. So maybe she is trying to join up with the rest of the pride, or maybe some cubs. So I'm just going to move like this so I can show you. Owen and I. I'm going to stop right here. So I know my vehicle positioning is probably not the best, so we'll have to move soon. There she's moving. She's gonna pop up right in front of us at some stage as well, if we can't see her now. But just listen to her calling. I wonder if she just didn't stop behind that bush just to listen out. Can you hear her calling? So I'm just gonna move my head out of the way here, but she's right in front of us now. I can hear some Franklin's alarm calling off to the left. Maybe that could be where the rest of the pride is, or maybe even some youngsters. So we'll watch her until we can't see anymore, and then we'll try and see if we can get another view of her. Just imagine how beautiful it would be to see her eventually join up with the rest of the pride and seeing that interaction. Now she's just stopped behind the bush and now she's listening. Remember this morning when we stopped and watched the sunrise and we said one of the most powerful tools is just to listen. So let's do the same and listen to her now. She's just stopped behind that one bush. Actually sounds like we can hear some more lions off to the left, or it could be baboons. But there's the lioness now moving. Alright, let's see if we can get another view of her. I'm going to move across onto this side here, so we actually have the sunlight on our backs, so we can look at her. But also still keep a nice distance. Debbie, she is quite a majestic looking lioness, I must say. She's really beautiful. She's just stopped again. There's an open area in front of us. Let's go to this open area and then we'll turn around and look back towards her. Now, as I said, I don't want to really, like if she's contact calling, I don't want to move the engine too much so that it influences like any of the, like her trying to meet up with the rest of the prides. We'll make our way ahead of her and let's quickly see if we can get another glimpse. It's actually beautiful sunlight here. We just turn here. There's actually quite a few impalas here as well. Oh, there's a male lion right here. On his way down towards her. So you'll see now he's actually moving into the area. You'll see him soon where, see, there looks like this old 2-track, and he's just left of it, coming this way. And she's right in front of us here, so now she's spotted him. You can see she's just marking her territory now. Let's see the interaction when the both of them meet up together again. Just want to see if he hasn't gone and lied down and is still on his way here. Yeah, he's just stood still now. So it's just one of those things where we have to have a little bit of patience because she's behind this bush and he's also behind a bush, so the view is not the greatest. But if we give it some time, maybe the both of them would move into a more of an open area, like she's doing now. I can actually hear more than just these two lines. And you can see she's also now turned her attention in the direction where those impalas are looking at. I don't know if it would be a mating pair because, like, I mean, like, they could have made it before, but it looks like this female actually is lactating in the moment. Teats are quite swollen. And it also, like, for them, it looks like both of them are part of the Birmingham Pride, and it might be, but based on what I'm seeing here, I can see the mammary glands are swollen. Like, looking at this female and the male, I'm sure she's just trying to, probably went out hunting and now coming back to join up with the rest of the pride. So what I'm going to do here, because I don't want, as I said, I don't want to influence, but I also want everyone to see this male line. So I'm going to move maybe 2-3 meters forward, like here. It might be, this might be the young Birmingham male. I just want to look at that back leg of his. Owen also says it looks like that young Birmingham male. Just the whole way his leg was moving as well. So look at his back left leg. So this is, I almost for a moment thought it was one of the Ross males, one of the bigger males, but having another look, it is that young Birmingham male. And look at this lioness's reaction. She's actually growling at him. And the way he just stopped to have a look at her. He's decided to go and lie down. The thing is, it's interesting that she doesn't actually tolerate him that close. And often what I've seen, especially with the females, if there's young males with them, they try and avoid the young males because they eat quite a bit. So whenever they have cubs and they make a kill, the young males tend to eat so much of the carcass. So whenever they can, they try and avoid them. But in this case, as this lioness was probably moving, trying to find her cubs, or possibly even the rest of the pride, he then heard her and decided to come and have a look and found her. Because for him, of course, it's more beneficial being with others than being by yourself. They are very social animals, and often the young males, when they are kicked out, they try and join up with other males and form a coalition. You see how he's just decided to go and lie down in a patch of shade there. Now I wonder where the rest of the pride would be. They're probably not too far from here. If he's here and she's also, and her direction was almost like towards the east, where we've been hearing some other calls. But it'd be really worth it sticking with these two for the next little while and see what happens. Like if she's going to eventually move on, or what she's going to do from here. Because you can see now, like every time she looks in that direction, he looks at her. And whenever she starts nodding, he looks away. But it is a very beautiful lioness, this. Lindsay, this is that exact same male. So he's what he's the male that we've all been following now for the last few years. But like for all the WildEarth viewers, he's the one that got so badly injured by the two dominant males last year, towards the beginning of the year. And you can see he's recovered so well. And even though his back leg had quite a terrible injury on it, he's still capable of hunting by himself. Like, there's some rangers that have seen him, like, catching impala, and I mean, even that kudu that everyone saw him on, as we think that he caught that kudu by himself. And even though there were so many hyenas, like, he just didn't back down, wasn't afraid. I think the only thing that really scares him is the two dominant males in this area, because, I mean, they're two and he's one. But if there were other males similar age to him that would have joined up, maybe there would have been a chance of pushing the other males out. But it's interesting that he's just been sticking around for the last little while and just been tolerated. He had a few scars now and again, but it doesn't look like he has any new scars on him now. But if you look at this lioness, like some of her features in comparison to him, is like she's a bit lighter in color. Almost looks like on the side of her left shoulder there's this little patch or streak of blood, old blood. And then of course that very prominent white chin and white just beneath the eyes. I'm just trying to have a look. Does it look like she has a scar under her right eye? I'm also going to try and ask Owen to move in a little bit closer with the camera so we can see it. So look at her right eye. If she blinks again, let's see if there's a black spot under that right eye. There it is. So this is one of the mothers of the Birmingham Pride. And she definitely has cubs. Now, I'm thinking she was probably trying to join up with the cubs. And of course then this male just decided, when he heard her calling, and he was probably chased off by the males and he was by himself, that he's not going to miss the opportunity to join up with the lioness. Because often the lions, if they do make a kill, they'll come back, call the cubs, and then go back to the kill. And, you know, for him, it's an opportunity to possibly join. And should that be the case, of course, get a free meal. Oh, just look at the light on this male. He is quite a majestic lion.
We're still on a very, very misty chitwa, but I have one of these warmer thingies. Put them in my gloves. Now I can do this, and it can warm my cheeks. It makes for an awkward position to present in, though, so we're just going to act like I don't do that. An awkward position to drive in as well, because I end up driving like this. But the sun is peeking through now, which is wonderful. So that means it's warmed up a little bit. But you can still see lots and lots and lots of mist around. Now, I've heard some guinea fowl alarming. Unfortunately, I caught up with them, still alarming and at nothing. So I wonder if, because it's difficult to see, they're just extra alarmed. It's not unusual. But they were giving their really strong, good alarm call, you know? That one. The one they were giving when Mareebs was trying to stalk them. And I thought, Mareebs can't be far behind these guinea fowl. So I'm now doing a little loop around around that area where the guinea fowl are. They're kind of in this block here. See? Can you hear them again? Let's watch the Ngala and listen out. They've also been alarming all the antelope around them. They've been doing this, and then all the impala were very alarmed. See, this is a very good alarm call. Well, we're going to stick around here and figure out what the story is. It's probably that they're just a little extra cautious this morning.
And Love. So we're still sitting here, looking at these elephants. Some of them, they already walked past. They're probably far away already, which these, once they get mobile, they're probably going to do the same. So it's good that we still got them, and it's probably about that. They have two of adult back here, and all a few of a young one. That'll keep them comfortable. Not to worry about being separated apart. From the other member. And the young one's probably drinking while the mother's feeding. All the young one does is that curled up trunk. Sorry everyone, we gotta wipe off their lens so everybody can see nice and clear. So she has to pause like that, so until the young one has finished, and then she's probably gonna move. But she's also still enjoying feeding in that area. So elephants have two teeth. See how these mother still carrying on digging some roots. So Ali, you're asking how old are these baby elephants? So probably reaching a year old. See all the tusks started to come out. It's probably near on there. Sometimes the tusks started to grow just before a year, normally, when they're 8 months or so. But that young one can still drink until up into nearly 2 years. White issue. You're asking if the elephant skin are thicker than the rhino skin. I'm not sure, but it looks like the elephant's much thicker. But also rhino has thicker skin, but these one also, they might have a slightly thicker inch of a skin than a rhino. So as the sun is coming up, I'm just going to take another moment here to see what happens. I'm going to be sending you across to Nikki at Ngala with a line.
We're just waiting here patiently to see if they are going to get up and eventually move to the rest of the pride. Apparently earlier on, there were reports of some lions a little bit further from here moving in this direction, so I'm not too sure if these lions are eventually going to go and join up, but we'll just have to spend some time with them and just see. The smells very patient. He's in no rush to go anywhere. He's just going to make sure that he sticks close to this female and hoping that when she joins up with the rest of the pride that the two Ross smells aren't going to be there. Because imagine that interaction if we can see that, like eventually seeing her following. But she's probably just looking, as we mentioned, she is a mother with youngsters. She's probably looking for cubs as well as maybe the other lions. And then, of course, if he joins her, you never know which other lions might be there. Maybe there's two dominant males. and then he'll just probably stick on the outskirts. It's a very quiet morning, like in terms of noises around us. It's actually so beautiful. And with it warming up, there might be a chance that she'll eventually decide just to go and join up with the cubs. There's some impala in the back, but it doesn't look like she's too interested in them. You can see her, she, like while he's lying down, not really too fussed at what's going on around him. Look at how she's constantly lifting up her head. I can actually hear another lioness calling. Listen. See the direction she's looking at? That's where we just heard another contact call. So we'll give it some time. Maybe she joins up. If not, we'll go and investigate and see if we can find this other lioness. Or lion. I don't know if it's a... Sounds like a lioness, possibly contact calling. I'm just going to lean back and see if I can see anything in the back. Andre, it all depends on if the lions are separated from the pride or from any youngsters. If they are not separated, there's no need for contact calling. Contact calling is only if they need to sometimes find each other or find their cubs. So I would say it will be as often as it needs to be. I mean, like, let's say if this lioness was with the pride or with the young cubs, she might not contact call, but this young male would, because he's trying to join up with the other younger males or even possibly the pride. And so he might do it more frequently, because most of the time when he's chased away by the more dominant males and he's trying to join up with the pride, he'll do that quite often. Maybe every 5-10 minutes, maybe every 20 minutes. It all depends. You mean, like, sometimes they'll call the whole time for like an hour, 2 hours, and then after that they'll, like this male now, just goes and sleeps for majority of the day and just listens out for any signs of the pride. See how he's now picked up his head? Maybe he also heard that contact calling. Or it could be, see how he's lifted his head and he's picked up his nose a little bit. There are some impalas in that direction, and he probably picked up on their scent. The lioness decided to lie down flat, and she's still growling at him. I think the best we do is to see and go, to go and see if we can find the other lions as well.
If you thought you had daddy issues, then think again. Many of the fathers in nature don't have the most commendable parenting skills, but there are some who are always there to protect their young. In honor of Father's Day, this weekend, Andrew and Trishala will be at the fire discussing wild dads. Sign up to be an explorer and you can join in the fun. And if you want to wish your dad a happy Father's Day, then send your messages and we'll be sure to read them out. Educating our youth about the environmental threats we face is critical. Our future depends on it. The Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, WESA, is actively leading the charge. Their goal is to encourage children to fall in love with our natural world and to empower them to live sustainably in the future. Through their school programs, the children learn to report on environmental issues through videos, articles, and photos.
The YRE program has changed my life in so many beneficial ways. Being out there at the workshops, I was entitled to talk with others, socialize, as well as my writing skills and leadership skills have improved, so it has been great.
WESA is a membership-based organization. By joining WESA, you will be helping to provide valuable support for these youth education initiatives.
My name is Lauren and I'm currently working in Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. I love answering your questions during the live safaris. It's my favorite part. It feels like you're on the vehicle with me and I'm able to teach you exactly what you want to know. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, you must go to the live safari page and ask your question below the live feed.
Look at this, the little one is up and about. Certainly hasn't had enough milk at this age. No amount of milk is enough. Oh, corky. Too sweet. Oh, look at this. That is stunning.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
There is a very big elephant bull. Oh, yes, move this way, move this way. Oh, here he comes. I've just been circling this block because the Franklin and the guinea fowl keep alarming. Can you hear the Franklin there? But our elephant bull doesn't seem two-faced. And you can hear the guinea fowl near me alarming too. Well, hopefully we'll find whatever it is that's in this block, if there is anything. Or maybe they're just a little bit extra nervous this morning. But most of the mist is cleared up now. So they should calm down if there isn't anything left or anything in the block that we can find. Well, while we look at our really gorgeous elephant bull, I'd like to wish all the dads out there happy Father's Day, all the special dads in my life as well. And of course, my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad. He always gets very excited because it's not Father's Day in Australia this month, it's in September. So he loves that he gets 2 Father's Days. But it's Father's Day for most other countries in the world today. So happy Father's Day to everybody. And to you, great big bull. Imagine how many offspring you've fathered. He probably has no idea. So we know there's very little parental care that elephant bulls engage in. But the truth of the matter is that whether they're involved in parental care or not, the calves wouldn't exist without them. It's a very, very important part of all our biology, isn't it? Karen, hi. You'd like to know, is there enough food in these areas for the elephants? There's a lot of food around compared to other years, but also remember elephants have huge home ranges that they'll traverse and continue to find food in. So it doesn't really matter if there's enough here, they'll move on to the next place, but there certainly is enough here. There's lots of grass, lots of leaves. And definitely lots of bark. I think this might be that big bull we saw near the dam. Tusks look similar. They're quite high. These guinea fowl that are next to the vehicle here have, like, they're fluffed up and together, almost in a sleeping position, but they're still alarming. And then they heard Morgan turn around and then they all lifted up their heads. See how they've got their necks all pulled in? They're still a little bit chilly. But still alarming. It can have a knock-on effect. They start alarming, then Franklin start alarming, but I know that there's impala and Ngala in this block, so if there was something in here, that would be a more reliable alarm call. Cleaning their feathers while still alarming. It almost sounds like a complaint. They got louder now because the Franklin started going on the other side of the bull. Also, the bull would react. Either way, we're going to stick around in the area just in case there is something. And I'm very glad for the sun that's around at the moment, warming me up. Well, once this boy comes in to the open clearing, you'll be able to get a really nice look at him. Well, this gentleman actually is not a boy, he's a very big bull. And obviously, like I said, we want to see if these alarm calls are truthful or it's just them being a little bit extra skittish this morning. But we're going to send you over to Andrew for now. He's still with his elephants.
Indeed, we're still sitting here, and then we've been listening around also to see if we could hear anything, because it's still best time of the morning just to listen. And of course, if there isn't a sound of lions or leopard calling, there's a chance you may hear because it's still dead quietly, but not at all. So we're just going to take another moment looking at this elephant. The young one is already on the floor, resting. So, safely asking how much of a milk the young one would take per day. I'm not sure, but probably anything from above 30 liters or so. I'm just going to check that out, but yeah, probably drink more. You can see those one away. Actually, on the far end, they're still feeling very comfortable or being stationary around here. They've been so cool, in fact. So Megan, you comment saying that you just love the way they use their trunk. I agree, they're so useful. You know, his trunk is the only special tool they will ever have. And then, of course, for that, to be able to use them very well, they have to train these trunks since they're younger age. And then when they grow up, you can see how they use them. Just trying to get that root is not actually easy to come out, but she will probably kick it if she need. Tip end of the trunk is got like a 2 tip finger like, able to hold up the small branches like a clipper. And the young one is still flat. It's a way of resting where the young one would take their own time when the parents stationary, and they will go down flat, get a little bit of a rest before they get up and move again. Sometimes they have to move huge distances without any rest. Is up, trying to get up. already using their trunks so well by doing that, pouring over sand. It's a way of practice these trunks in this age. By the time they're old, they were able to use them properly. So I'm going to take time. If they disappear, then I'm going to leave and look for something else.
So we left those other lions and we've actually heard some more lions calling somewhere in front of us. Now I can see a hooded vulture up this side. Now it doesn't mean that like this hooded vulture could be where the lions are, but there is a good chance that it might be near, because often even if with the hooded vultures they can wait for the lions to move off. Sometimes they eat the scat, they could eat any remains of anything that they could have killed, and the grass is quite tall, so I'm just going to go slowly. Look out for any tracks or signs, and basically just go into the direction where we heard those lions calling earlier. So Owen, keep a good lookout here. Let me know if you spot anything. Now the hooded vulture's up on this side, it looks like. Or maybe it's not even a hooded vulture. I'll have a closer look now, and no, it doesn't look like a hooded vulture. It's just... Yeah, let's quickly have a look while there's a bird of prey up in the tree in front of us here, and then we'll also listen out to the lion calls. So if you look at this bird, notice how brown in color it is. It's a very distinctive brown, and if you look at the eyes, it's like this very bright orange yellow eyes. So this is a brown snake eagle, and probably perched up at the top of the tree there's quite a few patches, sandy patches here where reptiles can go, like maybe snakes, geckos can go, well, not geckos, more like lizards can go into the road to warm themselves up onto these sandy patches, and of course an ideal place for this bird to be sitting and looking down. As I mentioned, just trying to, as we're sitting here and watching this brown snake eagle, to listen out for those lions again. But it's incredible. Look at how he's just perched onto that very straight branch. It's quite amazing to see.
Our big bull has come closer to us. He's so relaxed. He knows we're here. He's still wanting to come and eat close to us. But I want you to watch as he goes and he eats and he breathes. You might be able to see his breath coming out at the end of the trunk. So wide between the trunk, between the tusks. I can see my own breath. You should definitely be able to see his. Oh, there you go. Hi, Wads. You'd like to know if elephants can run or can they just walk fast? So from a technical perspective, they're just walking fast as far as I can see. So to be running, there's a moment where neither feet are on the ground. So if you're technically walking, one foot has to always be touching the ground. As far as I can see, they seem to be walking very fast. But when we generally describe them, we do describe that fast walk as a run. Although all feet are not off, there's always a foot touching the ground. I don't see them with all feet off the ground. You would notice that, you know, when there's walking races, and there's that kind of, yep, Morgan's doing it on the back of the vehicle now. There's that stride. You all know it. The reason why walkers use that stride is because they have to keep both feet, or they have to keep at least one foot touching the ground at any point. If they don't do that, then it's a run and it's no longer a walking race, but you've started to run, so you get disqualified. So, strangely, that's how I know what the technical difference is between running and walking. But also, have a look at an animal running in slow motion, and you'll see that there will be a moment when there's nothing touching the ground. Then with an elephant, I can't say I've seen that. But again, if we film it and then play it back very slow, we might find that there is a moment when none of the legs are touching the ground. Although I must say for an elephant, I don't think so. I've never noticed that at all. It would be something though, wouldn't it? There's another bull in the block too. They're buddies in a sense. And they've decided to socialize with each other for a while now. I'm sure this is the bull we had at Chitwood Dam earlier, and he had another friend with him, or two others. Also quite large bulls. The way we found him in the middle of the block was I saw a tree shaking in the middle of the block. There's only one thing that'll be able to do that, and it's a big elephant bull. And we just waited patiently, and luckily for us, he came out. Sometimes they just... Oh, he's using his side of him now to push it over. Hi, Richard. You'd like to know what's the lifespan of an elephant bull? It's about the same as a cow. It's more reasonably between 50 and 60. But it can be up to 70. No, you don't like to eat that one. He just took some black monkey orange and popped it in his mouth. Not particularly tasty. But I guess with his size, he doesn't care. Whoa, that's a big distance between his tusks. Oh, you like that black monkey orange, do you? See how his tusks lift up quite early instead of... So, big tuskers, you'll find that their tusks grow downward and then curve up towards the end. But you can see his are quite short, but they're thick and they curl up quite quickly. Oh, the base of that trunk is so, so wide. Hi, SG. You'd like to know if I've ever had any awkward encounters with elephants? Awkward, certainly. plenty. I've had elephants stand right next to me and decide that that's the time to release gas. I've had an elephant had finished drinking water, the young bull, and then he decided to walk in front of the car and then flick his trunk at me and then got water on my face. And once I had a big, large bull just like this come and investigate BK and I and the vehicle very, very close, almost touching the vehicle, and his trunk was so large he was resting it over his tusk. And it was almost like there was no space for him to release his trunk between us and the car, but he decided to do it anyway. And he came very, very close to the vehicle. And he also fell asleep next to the vehicle. Briefly, like closed his eyes for a little nap. All of those occasions quite, as you asked, awkward. What do I do in this situation? None of these animals are being aggressive. No, they're just doing their normal thing. But it can be a little bit awkward. Well, I'm going to send you over to Nikki for now. I'm still going to sit with this bull for a little while.
We just heard some lions calling up in this direction here. Now, we've moved in a bit with the vehicle to see if we can find it, but we haven't heard anything again. So what I'm going to do is we're going to find a nice spot somewhere in the open and just switch off, because these lions aren't too far. I'm sure it's just somewhere nearby. So I want to just switch off here and listen. So just listening for, it sounded like a contact call, didn't sound like a roar at all. And the biggest thing is, like, we just don't want to be driving around aimlessly. We'd rather just stop, listen again, and then from there we can make the decision. White t-shirt depends on the pride. Some lions could anywhere from 1.5 years onwards, like when they're pushed out of the pride, they could start hunting by themselves, or it could even be like if they stay with the pride for quite a few years, they might only been kicked out by the age of 2.5, 3 years, and then they are capable of hunting by themselves. They'll start getting involved around about from 8 months onwards and help the pride. Sometimes as a distraction, other times they'll actually help with the takedown. And even with lions in general, I mean, even for some of the more experienced females, they still don't have the highest success rate when it comes to hunting. Only 40% of all the times they try to hunt, they are successful. So there's quite a high number that they unfortunately miss. I haven't heard anything yet. We'll sit here for at least another few minutes and listen out. I'll try. Owen and I will sit here for another 2 minutes, and if nothing, we're gonna try and see if we can find some more tracks.
The annual Safari Guide of the Year competition aims to create awareness for those men and women who dedicate their lives to tourism and wildlife. This year's event will be held at Marataba, a breathtaking privately managed section of the Marakele National Park in South Africa's Limpopo province. In celebration of this, WildEarth and Marataba Luxury Lodges are offering all explorers a chance to win a 3-night stay at Marataba Safari Lodge for you and a friend. In addition to a spectacular land-based safari, Marataba Luxury Lodges offer an opportunity for guests to cruise peacefully along the Matlabas River, watching the animals as they drink and wallow. The lodge offers you a chance to lie by the pool or enjoy a spa treatment, and one night could be spent sleeping out under the stars in a luxurious treehouse. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 30th of June, and it could be you heading off on a long-awaited getaway. WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature.
Hi everybody, I'm Tiana, I'm from Johannesburg, and I am one of WildEarth's biggest fans.
Been watching for 4 years, DG here from the Ozarks.
It's been 4 years for me, and I'm not leaving anytime soon.
It's given me a time away from the hassles of the city, and it's given me a connection to a place that has stolen my heart, which is Africa.
Last year we lost our son, and now we're just watching WildEarth. Love to all you guys.
You are reminding us of the role that we play in nature conservation, each and every one of us. You have reconnected myself to a dream that I had as a child to get involved in nature conservation, and for that I'm really grateful for as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a huge privilege to be in these incredible places with these amazing animals. I love filming lions. When they do get up and do something, it's always spectacular. When they are playing, are incredibly fun to watch, especially sabots and cubs. I love being in the bush and working in these incredible places with these amazing animals. We want to bring it to you so that you can almost feel like you're right there and be able to experience it and enjoy it the way we are.
Everyone, we got a bride. We been just called on the radio that there's a bride crossing over from the Lugari. So we got a Talamati bride. I think also Duckman still with them there. They're just sitting on the road. I think they have a long walk because they walk across yesterday morning into Torchwood, and again this morning they come back from the south. So they probably have a darn big loop around. But they don't look like eaten to me yet. So you're asking, why do the lions and the lugs been in the road so much? Since they are cats, and we had all the misty that we had this morning, grass is still wet. And then, of course, that's the reason they would maybe be on the road. But just because it's open as well. When the sun heat up, I'll probably head into the shade for a cool off, but it's not really that much hot that they would need a shade right now. So once the grass is dried up, and then they would probably be around in these grasses. So it's the only reason that early in the morning cats love the roads, because dew on grasses then caused a lot of getting wet on these animals. Richard, you're asking how many usually in a pride? Before we're 14, we count. But since they came into Djuma, we count 11, but also including male, and then 12. So probably maybe some member not around here with them now. But there's 3 young males here in this pride. So they're all at 12 at the moment. We're just gonna sleep, but I also sleep awake because at the same time they're hearing me. It's phenomenal in this cat. They can still pick up sound even when they close their eyes. So I'm gonna stay put with the line. Going to be sending it across to Trishal, which is still with these Ellies.
I'm just so enjoying myself sitting with him that I didn't have the heart to leave. And I love the cracks each time he breaks a branch. Such a huge sound for such a huge animal. It's a sound that nothing else can make. Even when a car goes over a branch, it doesn't make that kind of sharp sound, clean sound, like an elephant can with its breaking of the branches. Almost echoed there. Come on through. Well, once he's done here, he's going to walk past us because this is his general direction. But obviously he thought that that tree cambium that was sticking out in all its bright orange glory was looking too great to pass by, and he had to eat it. It's lovely to see the sky is blue behind him with just a few wispy clouds. The sun really heating him and myself up, I must say. I'm just going to pull my binoculars out. His eyes are barely open. That's a great sign. It means he's nice and relaxed. Sometimes these big bulls, they can just stand like this and look like they're eating, and then all of a sudden it stops. And then you look at their eyes and you see that they're actually closed. Some proper crush action going on there, because these branches are difficult to break. I know obviously this is a fallen over tree, so it's a bit drier. They might be easier to actually pull off as for a human. But it's not as easy as it looks, and some of them are quite thick, yet he manages to crush it with his teeth so easily. There must be lots and lots of tasty goodness there. Oh, there's even some green leaves. Would you look at that? How lucky are you, Mr. Bull? You've managed to get some green leaves there. He's not been terribly comfortable when the car moves. He doesn't like the sound of it, it seems. But when we're parked, he's fine. He's very, very relaxed. So I know that obviously the dead tree is a bit in the way, but I don't want to bother him and move unless we're going to go. Wow, Tiaban, you'd like to know how tall this elephant bull is? Oof. I might put him at about 2 meters tall from the ground to the head. If I had to stand, so I'm not terribly tall, but if I had to stand next to him, I'd probably come to his tusks. Actually, even taller than that. He's taller than 2 meters tall. I would even say maybe 2.4, 2.5. Yeah, I'd say 2.4. I know people who are 2 meters tall, and he's taller than them. So I'd say about 2.4. At the shoulder, many bulls are about 2 meters, 1.7 to 2 meters. So obviously we've got to add that little extra bit on for the forehead, basically. Well, I'm still going to sit here, and I'm going to watch him and hope that he pops out from behind the tree and gives us a little greeting.
Still got our pride of line sitting on the road. Now we've been so close to the elephants, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to give them a chance, this pride, because some of them are actually raising their heads, probably heard something, I'm not sure. But we are here, so we're able to see what they heard, if they ever make an action. Was a grey go-away bird. It was making a lot of noises, but also they are checking out. Hope maybe there's something coming in, or heard something walking through these grasses. Birds also, when they alarm call for any cats, but cats sometimes they don't realize they all alarm call because of them. They just hope that maybe something could be moving around close to them.
I have lied to you all. I've miscalculated, but also I said 1.7 to 2 meters. It's 2.7 to 3 meters at the shoulder for most grown bulls, big bulls. So now what I'm using to measure this guy is if we look at the broken stump, that broken stump would probably come to my just below my shoulders, I think, or my chest. No, now I feel very short. And that would come to about his knees, and that would be about my shoulders. My shoulders would be what, like 1.2 meters? I have no idea. Total, I'm about 1.58. So I would come to just under his tusks, which would put his shoulders at about 2 meters, and then additionally some more on top of that. So he could almost be 3 meters. Obviously, it's difficult to tell until he walks to this stump, which is at least straight, and we can see it clearly. But he's not the tallest bull I've seen. He's thick and stocky, but not the tallest bull I've seen. So the average height for a cow at the shoulder, so we measure at the shoulder because there can be differences in the way that they carry their head and the shape and size of the head. So at the shoulder for cows is about 2 to 2.5 meters. And then for bulls, it's about 2.7 to 3 meters. When I said 1.7 to 2 meters, I thought, no, I know plenty of people that are around that size. And then I realized I was 1 meter too short. But they are very, very tall, and you don't really realize until they come close to you. And then you're like, So if he comes close to the car now, I'll be able to tell you exactly, because I know where my head ends on the car. Or rather, I know that, the dash is kind of at my neck. Hi, Gory. You'd like to know if elephants eat thorns. They try to avoid them because they've got soft skin in their mouths and also on the inside of their trunk, and they usually try to avoid them, but they're bulk feeders, so it's difficult to do that a lot of the time. But you won't find them just kind of stripping like a red thorn, where there's large thorns on the tree. You'll find them being very specific about them. Or a flaky thorn. You won't see them just, non-discriminately just stripping the whole thing, because those thorns are quite large. But when it comes to their teeth, they're able to grind anything that gets into their mouths. They just are careful not to hurt themselves in those sensitive parts at the base of the trunk where those finger-like protrusions are. That's also the reason that many elephants don't like bees, because firstly they can hear bees and swarms of bees and angry bees, so they know it's coming. And often they can disturb bees when they feed, because they're feeding in such volume. And it's those sensitive bits, the soft skin at the end by that finger, those finger-like protrusions, that would get stung, as well as near their mouths and behind their ears, all of those very soft bits, and they really don't like it. So when they hear the sound of angry bees, they're likely to move out of the area. Here come his two other buddies. They're talking to each other. Hopefully he's telling them that, no, these guys are chilled. Let's go down to the dam. A bit of touching going on at the back there. A little play fighting, twisting their trunks, knocking their tusks. Listen. Hopefully you'll hear that sound again. hope you heard that knock. It's still magnificent to watch really big elephants play fight, things like that, because it's just on a whole nother scale than watching young bulls do it. This one, not nearly as big. Still quite skinnier. So you're the one who wants to visit us. This patch of dead marula must be really great. Oh, you can see the little hairiness by the ears there. So cool. I'm going to keep watching them. I'm going to send you over to Andrew with the Talamati Pride.
So we are still sitting here with our beautiful pride. Now they're all heads up. They're starting actually to get warm where they are, so you may see maybe them stood up. Look around for a shade, or they would not probably seek a lot of a shade for now because temperature is still great, so maybe they will probably just lie down in a road. And they may even hunt during the day, depending what they spot around here. Many times, prey species walk towards them without realizing that they're there. So this is where sometimes the chance of them hunt during the day if they get disturbed by a prey species. And then it's always great to have this pride back into Djuma. And I know yesterday they have actually made such a movement after we saw them on the morning drive and then the evening drive. Then they were all gone across in one day into Torchwood. And then, yeah, we're going to stay put here.
This is Jake Whitener, all the way from the US, and he is a holder of the Ticket to Dream.
I decided to support and buy the Ticket to Dream to help WildEarth in its mission of conservancy towards animals and the environment.
If you want to go on safari with a WildEarth guide, whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
And I would highly recommend that people would be involved in that program.
Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could be making your first ever on-screen appearance.
Ever since I was able to get the Ticket to Dream, I've been looking forward to coming on this drive. It is an absolutely fabulous experience and it's great.
The Mara Triangle is a jewel in the Kenyan conservation crown, and thanks to the dedication of the Mara Conservancy, it thrives as one of Earth's greatest national treasures.
We have been experiencing a reduction in the whale snails that we collect on a monthly basis, and this is basically attributed to our intense patrols.
Over the years, this courageous team of anti-poachers has reduced poaching to almost zero.
Mimi naitwa Stephen Olereso. Nimefanya kazi miaka 16 sasa. Kuanzia miaka 2002. Hao wanadamu ni wenye utua sana sana inaogofya ni wale wenye wanaenda kama ndovu. Wanatumia kama bunduki. Sasa hiyo ndio huwa inakuanga hatari sana sana kwa sisi.
As a result of the global pandemic and the massive reduction in tourist revenue, the Mara Triangle is facing a financial crisis. They need your help if they are to continue their ability to protect this magical land.
My name is Steve, and one of my favorite things at WildEarth is getting questions from you. The type of questions that I really like are those ones that really help us to unpack and understand and really integrate the ecological knowledge and fully appreciate the importance that animals such as these Cape buffalo bring to the ecosystem. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, you're going to have to register on the website. But once registered, just head on over to the live safari page and enter your question under the live feed.
So have a look at this beautiful scene. So as we were searching for the lions, we came across this scene where there's quite a few impala and some baboons, and you can see the grass around the area, how tall it is. So it's a waterhole, and so these baboons and impalas are going down to drink. And it's not uncommon to see a troop of baboons and impala together. Sometimes you might find that the baboons, when they're up in the top of the trees, the impalas would feed underneath because of the extra eyes and ears. They feel safer, but also as some of the things drop down to the ground, they'll go and pick it up. But I must say, I do enjoy watching baboons. Look at how these ones are just enjoying the sun. Look at this one off to the left, like sitting with his arms crossed over his legs and his belly into the sun. I just want to have a look at the one baboon. It looks like he's almost sleeping. Just want to see if I can focus. No, he's not sleeping. He's just sitting with his head down. Now, the one I wanted to point out is left of where we're looking now. It's slightly more left. Oh, and it's more towards, you see the two there, like with the impala in the background, the one's actually walking towards the other one. So that one there, the big male, was actually sitting with his head facing down. Like that. I thought he was sleeping. does look like you might be sleeping now. Alti, with a troop of baboons like this, you might find that there could be a couple of dominant males, alpha males within the troop. So it's not necessarily one male and then a couple of younger ones and females. It actually could be led by quite a few big males in the troop. Look at how these impala are just chasing each other down towards the water. It's actually a very beautiful day today. The sun is nice and warm. Earlier on it was quite misty, but now it's just warming up. Critter Freak, it is a dynamic scene. You can just see, like, look at all the baboons, the impalas, and I must say, it's just, like, they are all so relaxed. Even though the lions are not too far from this area, you can see they're not too fast. That one that we were looking at earlier that we thought was sleeping is actually sleeping now. I haven't seen any movement from him. Just trying to have a look, I think. He might be digging for something now, but no, I think he's fast asleep. He was probably on sentry duty last night, so he didn't get a good sleep. Now this morning, sitting in the sun, oh, he probably heard something at the back. Look him up. And that's a very good question. Baboons can live up to close to 30 years. But it all depends on, like, quite a variety of different factors. How big the troop is, the competition within the troop, especially some of the older ones. But yeah, like in general, I think it's quite close to 30. I must just double check on that, because I remember reading on the lifespan of baboons quite a few years ago. And I'd just like to double check, but I remember it was around the 30-ish mark. But what I'll do is I'll try and just figure out again, go and do some more research, and then hopefully by this afternoon's drive, I'll definitely let everyone know. For now, while we're going to continue with our lion search, let's head across to Trishala with an elephant bull.
Not much has changed on this side. It seems that there is really something in the marula tree that they found here that they're just loving. Maybe they're just taking their time eating. So we'll leave them after this one. I thought that we could just say goodbye since they've been such gentlemen to us. They've been cracking lots of branches and stamping on branches and smashing them with their feet and breaking them with their tusks. But with the true gentlemanness of a big elephant bull. perhaps that one is a newcomer to the group and is not, because the big bull we've been watching doesn't look particularly welcoming to the other one that just come along, but I've seen them, these three, together before. Oh, listen to that. Also wants to join in on the dried marilla fest here. Oh, these sounds. Gosh, I love them. Hi, Zonche. You'd like to know if elephants have free passage to and from the Kruger? Yep. They can move freely in between the two. They can actually theoretically move freely out of South Africa. Are so magnificent. So keep your questions coming. I'm just not going to talk very much because I want you to listen to everything. You may even be able to hear the low rumbles. That trunk of the other one has gone and pulled something from the other one's mouth. Hi, Karen. You'd like to know if there are any concerns about the elephants destroying vegetation? It used to be a popular idea a couple of years ago, but we have realized that it's actually not. Obviously, if there's a lot of them in a small space, they will quickly and thoroughly destroy all trees, and it will quickly become a grassland. But in an area like this, and as we described with Zonche's question, how they can move freely, they're basically, by breaking down trees and things like that, they're controlling tree populations. They're also creating many spaces for small animals to hide, to live, making resources that were normally not available on the ground available, taking down the tops of trees, dropping leaves on the ground, etc. from the tops of trees, pushing down trees so that they can access the tops of trees and make that more accessible to other animals. So there is a fine balance. It's only when there's too many elephants in one area that the balance gets destroyed and shifted. But then each area has a different carrying capacity depending on how quickly it can regenerate. Whether it's already very close to being a grassland and the last thing it needs is to be tipped over. But then also those are all cycles. They're all part of the environment. Things cycle through different types of habitat and have been cycling through different habitats for millions and millions of years on the planet. So it's all part of the process. Well, these three bulls have all come into picture for us now. And we're going to leave them be, leave Chitwa and head closer to home.
all sitting here with a beautiful bride. It's getting slightly warm. Grass is already dried off, what I can see from my side. So we're just going to see what they're going to do, because since they're in Djuma, where every time we look for them, we have to come and track them. It looks like one of the females just walked straight to the duck main there, but he's not interested on playing. There is a duck man there lying. Looks like he's been keeping up with them, which is also always a good idea. In case they kill something, then he always share with them. See how big his legs is. So tip and end of his tail, you see how black. But also female has that as well.
So one of the rangers that were just driving ahead of us spotted these lion cubs, and just off to the right the mom is here as well, which is quite good, because if we only found the cubs, then unfortunately we're not allowed to view them because there's no adult with. But it looks like the mother has spotted something. Look at the you'll see the two that were on the sun here, but you'll see just behind them in the shade there's a lioness that picked up her head with, looks like 3 youngsters there. Now with this pride, so these are the ones that are part of the Birmingham Pride, but what's quite strange is that there's only 6 here. And the last time we counted there should be 7 cubs. So I don't know if the one might have moved into the tree line in the back and we just haven't seen it yet. You can see they blend in very well in the shade there versus these ones that are out in the light. You can see this one cub off to the right has not even picked up his head. Like he is so tired. Look at that tummy, fast asleep, very content at the moment in the sun. Also, I do love little lion cubs, how the paws look like it's several sizes too big and they almost need to grow into it. This one is very curious. Now moving toward in our direction, probably just to come and see, investigate. If you look at them, it looks like 2 of them are probably around the same size and the others are all smaller. So it might be that it could be the same father or 2 different fathers. I mean, sometimes with an area here, there's 2 dominant males that run this pride. And sometimes if a female is like in estrus ready to mate, then you might find that the one male could mate with her, and then whenever the next one is ready to mate, then the other male would mate with that female. So it could be that they are from two different fathers, but probably the same bloodline, because I mean the two fathers are two brothers. But it's hard to tell if it's exactly all from the same father. Looks like the one has just moved in behind the vehicle, and then of course these other ones. Look at how funny this one is. So the one that was lying down earlier on, another cub came down and lied down right beside it with the paw on top of the other one's head. It was a bird that just flew over one of the starlings, birch or starlings, and this young cub just followed the movement of the birds as they landed. It's often a thing when lions lie down open air and there's vultures just fly over. You can actually see them like looking at the vultures.
The Endangered Wildlife Trust fights at the forefront of conservation, across the vast Karoo and sweeping grasslands, in remote pockets of forest, along road networks, across African skies, and in communities to conserve our wildlife and wild spaces. Help us to protect forever, together. Donate now at ewt.org.za.
Hi everyone, my name's Daniel Fisher and I'm going to be your guide this afternoon. I'm looking really forward to taking you through and showing you all the beautiful places here at andBeyond in Ngala. If you have any questions, please register on our website. Once registered, go to the live page feed and post your questions underneath the live feed. Join me on my next safari through andBeyond in Ngala on WildEarth. Send me live questions through the WildEarth website and I'll answer them live from the African bush.
The croc is still holding another one there. It's holding from the hindquarters. I would really want the wildebeest cross. Is it trying? The croc is holding the tail. It's holding tight. Oh no. Goodness me. Lucky, lucky wildebeest. You have another day to live.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Hello, I'm Marna, your WildEarth safari guide from andBeyond Ngala. What's my favorite animal? Definitely elephants, and in particular an elephant bull, an old elephant bull. I think the sheer size, partnered with their experience because they grow so old. I always wonder what they've seen and how they've seen the bush change over those many years. Join me or one of the other guides twice a day on WildEarth.
Have a look at how this little cub's now lying down, just in that open patch. Remember this morning when we said for lions, if we look for them, we might look for them in areas that are a bit more open instead of the tall grass because of the dew. And you can see they've done just that, found themselves a nice spot to warm up. And I'm sure as it warms up in the day, like this one now, would eventually start heading into the shade. Now, with female lions, what I've noticed from my experience is that often because there's a lot of them, they tend to be better hunters in the more open areas. But the male lions are also very good hunters. In actual fact, I think I've seen male lions by themselves pulling down a lot bigger animals than females can. So I would say yes and no, that females could be better hunters, depending on the experience. But I mean, if you have a bunch of young females versus one experienced male, the chances are, and if he sticks to more denser areas, research have shown that they tend to be very good hunters. So then they could possibly have a higher success rate whenever they hunt versus a lot of younger females that might not necessarily have that experience. That one cub that moved to the back looks like a young male. He's now on his way back to the mother. Looks like this one on the right is going to wake up the one that's been fast asleep in the sun. See how this one's going to try and wake up that one. Bernie Lulu, this is very adorable to watch. Like, that's why often when the animals are playing like this, especially the cubs, like the last thing you want to do is talk too much, just wanting to enjoy it and just see what lions do on a daily basis. And if you look at them, just you see how the one came through, like try to move the other one, but eventually decided, you know, that looks very comfy. So I'm just going to go and lie down right next to this one. And it might be like for now going forward that these lions are going to be in this area for the next little while. Like I can just imagine with it warming up, these youngsters will eventually follow mom, and you see that patch of shade where she's lying in, maybe just go and settle there for the day. Maria, what will happen is let's say if we push with the vehicle too close to the cubs, or even on foot, we can use the two different scenarios. So if I had to directly approach her with the vehicle, she'll definitely feel uncomfortable. She might snarl at the vehicle or might even move off. Her first instinct, of course, is to get the youngsters to move off. But if she feels she can't get away, then she'll become defensive. However, when it comes to walking in the bush, like if I had to approach her on foot, it'd be a different scenario. Let's say there was a kill, or possibly even these cubs being around here. The first thing she'll do, she'll probably snarl at us. So that snarl is her warning, saying to us, I'm uncomfortable with you being here, please move away. And if you respect that, there's no need for her to then charge or try and warn us, because she feels like, because of the cubs being there, she feels threatened. And if we move away, like eventually, like what they're doing now, is they'll eventually settle down again and lie down. And you might even find, if you on foot, they might scatter in all different directions, and eventually they'll join up back together. But it's been such an incredible morning, like from the very first go, starting with the sunrise, and then eventually from there on finding those, like that one lioness, and then as we followed her, joined up with that young Birmingham male and carried on and heard these calls of these lions, and eventually being able to find them with all these cubs around, and of course just to see them almost like going to settle in for the day. I mean, with most animals, like especially cheetah or wild oaks, you might find that they start moving this time of the morning to avoid the competition with the lions. But the lions, on the other hand, quite lazy in the daytime. It might even be that this female would be with the cubs this afternoon. Might have to come back and have a look. One just wants to sit here the whole day and just enjoy this. But I'm sure they're not going to be doing too much going forward from here. It's just been such a beautiful drive. And who knows what we're going to find in the rest of the day, like after this, as well as into the afternoon.